Hey guys, it's been a while. So, for those of you that actually reached out to kind of say, hey, where you at? Hope you're doing okay. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Took a little bit of a hiatus, and there have been some personal and some professional developments that also gave me pause to just kind of take a step back and reevaluate some things. Now, when I started the Suited Shootist back in 2019, it was because, just a regular white collar guy, not in an armed profession, not in a particularly high risk profession. And I didn't really feel represented. And I felt, quite frankly, that some of the advice that was being put out uh, ignored my context and my life experience. And so I started to share my thoughts and my musings on all that. Well, I haven't been in a suit and tie job for a while, and it's not going anywhere. I still love my fancy clothing, but the just things evolve, and the fact that I've been doing this for over 6 years at this point, um, just that in of itself is kind of crazy to me. But um, like I said, things evolve. And so during my little hiatus, I started thinking about what I really wanted to do. And the reality is that I still think that I have something to say. Um, Now the consideration, excuse me, one of my fosters is being a little bit of a shit. Hey, Piper, knock it off. It's enough. Uh, it's incidentally, if anybody is in the market to adopt a lab healer, I'll go ahead and put some pictures of her up because she could very much use a forever home. She is a sweetheart. Um, Needs a little bit of discipline, but overall, she's a very good dog. Anyways, besides the point. So, getting back to it, I still have something to say. And some of you may know, last year I officially formed and launched, my own training company, uh, Everyday Defensive Concepts. And the reason for that was very much similar to the motivation behind the Suited Shootist. Is I have a lot of people in my life who would come to me for advice, who would come to me for uh, insight, education. They're not the kind of people who are going to make defense craft their primary hobby. They recognize that there is a need to take a more active role in their own personal protection. However, what is readily available on the market strikes them as a little too much, whether it's too intimidating, whether it's too expensive, whether it seems over the top and excessive in terms of either a time commitment or effort, regardless of what that may be. And there's plenty of folks out there that are going to shit on those folks because, like, oh, well, if you just don't take it seriously, then, whatever, have fun being part of the sheeple. And quite frankly, I think that is an incredibly fucked up attitude. We want as many capable defenders as possible out there, and it's up to everybody to determine to what extent they're willing to do that. So the reality is the Suited Shoot has kind of started as a passion project, also arguably a bit self-indulgent. It allowed me to feel like I was worth something and contributing some value. Now, happily, that seems to be the case. It wasn't just this sort of self-aggrandizing fantasy for the most part. There were a few times that I definitely got over my skis. Thankfully, I've got a lot of people in my life who will help me to course correct whenever that starts to happen. But the fact is, I really only have time for one passion project at a time. And so if everyday defensive concepts is going to be less of a hobby and more of a serious endeavor, uh, realistically, the time and the energy that I do have is best directed towards that. Now, I'm not retiring the suited shootist per se. It's evolving because suited shootist began because of what I saw as a lack of representation and a lack of talking to a specific niche. And that's what the everyday defensive concepts, I guess, mission statement is about as well, is speaking to the folks who aren't going to make gun school their primary hobby. Speaking to the folks who may only take one or two classes ever. And so, given that that's going to be more of a business venture and it's going to require time, effort, and content, I'm going to be shifting focus a little bit. Now, the nice thing is that there's a lot of overlap because a lot of what I'm going to be talking about over at ADC is still going to be very much the same, social considerations. There is going to be, gear integration and stuff like that. Really, all I'm doing is broadening the niche to where I'm no longer focusing exclusively on the white collar, the suit and tie crowd, or the dapper dans. I'm taking those same principles and I'm simply expanding them to the larger category of what Pat Rogers would call regular earth people. The folks who are either considering buying a gun, or even if guns aren't for them, still want to have a more active role in their own safety. And that's really that's the whole goal, is making as many good people who are dangerous to bad people as possible. And so it's not going to be a lot of hard charging, type of stuff. It is as realistic and as accessible a take on the self-defense puzzle as I feel like I have to offer. So I guess we're in the midst of what we would consider to be a rebrand. So stay tuned, because I am very excited about the potential that this has. And for everybody that has supported the Suited Shootist over the years, I truly cannot express enough gratitude for the advice, for the encouragement, for the support, and all of that. And that was one of the things that Jack Clemens sort of tasked me with several years back. I sat down and I did a live stream with him. And he said that all of that comes with a price, and that price is the obligation to continue to help pay it forward. And that's really where my focus is. I'm not here trying to create gunfighters. I'm not here trying to, posture as some kind of badass that I'm not. I want to try and get as many people into the fold as possible, because that beyond the 1% that Carl Wren talks about are the enthusiastic hobbyists, and they drive the market to a very large extent. But I want to make sure that we're getting as much engagement from as many people as possible. So this is a little bittersweet, because the Suited Shootist was more than just the channel. It was, my alter ego, to an extent. It was a part of my identity, and still is. But like I said, it's not going away. It's just evolving. And the fact of the matter is, I'm not the same person that I was 5 years ago. So if I were to, not evolve, not, update everything. That kind of stagnation, it just isn't beneficial to anybody. And so, yeah. If you have any questions on that, please put it down in the comments because I want to hear about it. Um, and aside from that, stay tuned because, like I said, I'm very excited about the potential of where this can go. I am going to need a lot of help and a lot of advice. And like I said, you folks that have been part of that so far, I will never be able to effectively express my appreciation for that. And so all I can do is do my best to sort of honor the trust and the effort that has been put into me so far, and give it that appropriate deference. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Anyways, hope everybody has a fantastic week. Stay dangerous and stay sharp.